Are you treating yourself as kindly as you treat others? Self-compassion isn't a luxury, and this week we'll explore the science of self-compassion, practical exercises for daily life, and small ways to respond to yourself with understanding instead of criticism. Whether you're a caregiver, parent, professional, or just someone ready to be gentler with yourself, this episode offers tools to help you pause, reflect, and act with self-care. So take a moment today to practice one small act of kindness towards yourself by having a listen. Hello, friends, and welcome back or welcome for the first time. However you got here, I'm so glad you're here today. Whether this is your first time listening or you've joined me many times before, thank you for giving yourself this gift of time. Just a few minutes of presence, a few minutes of focus on your own inner life. It's a profound act of self-care. And if someone sent this to you, it might mean that someone cares about you more than you even know. And maybe they knew you needed this nudge to give yourself some grace and kindness today. Because today we're going to explore self-compassion. This practice is gentle, transformative, and often misunderstood because we often think we're supposed to be so focused on caring for others, which of course is beautiful and important. And we tend to believe compassion is something we extend only to others, and kindness to ourselves can feel selfish or indulgent. But self-compassion is not about pampering. It's about meeting yourself in your struggles with understanding, warmth, and patience. It's about creating a space in which your mind and body can relax, recharge, and respond with resilience. Many of us struggle with self-compassion because we're conditioned to push ourselves relentlessly. We criticize ourselves for perceived shortcomings or believe that being kind to ourselves is a form of weakness or ego or flattery. But true self-compassion is none of those things. And today we're going to unpack what self-compassion really is, how it affects your body and brain, how it can help you move forward in building the life you want and deserve, and how you can put this into place in practical, real-world ways. So let's first understand what self-compassion is. It has three core components, so let's get into them. The first is mindfulness, noticing your own suffering without being consumed by it. Mindfulness allows you to observe your thoughts and feelings objectively, recognizing I'm having a hard moment rather than I'm failing or I'm broken. And when I talk about suffering, I'm not just talking about huge illnesses, losing a loved one, or heartbreak, although obviously that can be part of suffering. But suffering can also include the small daily impacts to our lives that throw us off balance. It could just be repeating the argument you have with your child or spouse. It could be the negative body image you have of yourself. Suffering is not a competition, and your suffering is yours, and mine is mine, and it's personal to each one of us. The second part of self-compassion is self-kindness, treating yourself with care and understanding instead of judgment. Think about how you comfort a close friend during a difficult time. Self-kindness is extending that same care inward. You know the golden rule of treat others as you would like to be treated? Well, let's extend that to ourselves. And the third is common humanity, or recognizing that suffering is part of the shared human experience. Everyone experiences setbacks, doubts, and challenges, and I mean everyone, no matter how their lives look on Instagram. Understanding that your struggles are not unique. They may feel unique to you, and of course there is a level of uniqueness in that we all come to struggles from a different place and experience. But understanding that we all struggle, it reduces the isolation and shame of, why do I let myself feel this way? So let's talk a little bit about the science of self-compassion, because it's not only a warm notion. It has profound effects on the brain, nervous system, and overall health. Studies have shown that people who practice self-compassion experience lower levels of anxiety, depression, and stress, while also showing higher resilience and better emotional regulation. Research in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology shows that self-compassion helps individuals cope with setbacks more effectively because it reduces self-criticism and it supports realistic self-appraisal. So not focusing on the story we tell ourselves, but the actual facts. Another study found that self-compassion practices are linked with increased vagal tone. So that's your vagus nerve, that is the longest nerve in your body, from your brain down to your internal organs. And this vagal tone is a marker of parasympathetic nervous system activity that promotes calm, regulation, and social engagement. This shows a direct connection between gentle self-care and the body's physiological state. By being kind to yourself, you can literally reduce stress hormones, regulate heart rate, and improve your immune function. You can actually become healthier, not just mentally, but also physically, with a stronger immune system just by being more kind to yourself. Free and easy with no side effects. So, why does self compassion feel so hard? Despite its benefits, many people resist it. There are a few common reasons. One is that the belief that self compassion is indulgent. You might think, well, if I'm kind to myself, I won't try hard enough, or I'll become lazy. But in reality, self compassion encourages you to keep going. By responding to yourself with care instead of criticism, you create a safe internal environment to take risks, to learn, and grow. You don't allow a setback to keep you sidelined. You give yourself some grace and kindness to get back up and try again. Another reason is conditioning. Many of us grew up in families, schools, or workplaces that valued perfectionism, criticism, and achievement over emotional well-being. So kindness to yourself can feel foreign or uncomfortable because it contradicts what we've learned. And that's one thing I love about today's generation is that they have more of a focus on mental health, on well-being. And my hope is that this continues and creates a more loving and kind world in the future. But you can begin creating that type of world yourself, not just by being kind to others, but showing others how you can be kind to yourself. And finally, there is guilt. Caregivers, parents, professionals often feel that self-compassion is selfish. You may be responsible for children, elderly parents, or other loved ones, and it can feel impossible to pause for yourself. And we talked about that last week on episode 41, about how hard work and being there for others can turn into burnout. But the truth is that taking care of yourself strengthens your ability to care for others. Think of self-compassion as filling your cup so you have something to pour into others. Kristen Neff, one of the leading researchers on self-compassion, says, self-compassion is simply giving the same kindness to ourselves that we would give to others. It's such a simple and easy statement, but not so easy to put in place sometimes. So let's think about that for a bit. Let's take a moment to recall a situation where you felt frustration, stress, or disappointment. Now, imagine speaking to a close friend about that moment. How would you comfort them? What words of understanding or encouragement would you offer? Now try offering yourself those same words, silently or aloud. It might feel awkward at first, and you might have a hard time feeling it, but take a moment to reflect how you feel after. And try to apply that each time you find yourself needing comfort, yet not giving it to yourself. Purposely picture speaking to a friend, and then put yourself in their place. Now let's explore some more concrete ways to practice self-compassion. Here's 5 simple exercises that you can integrate into your day, even if you're busy. They don't take time. The comforting hand. Place one or both hands over your heart. Close your eyes and silently say, I see you. I hear you. It's okay to feel this way. Take several slow breaths. Feel the warmth of your hands and imagine it spreading throughout your body. This simple gesture signals to your nervous system that you are safe and worthy of care. A self-compassion break. When you notice self-criticism, pause and name it. Speak to yourself and say, this is a moment of suffering. It's part of life. May I be kind to myself in this moment? Even just a few seconds of mindful acknowledgement can interrupt negative thought loops. Rewording your inner dialogue. Identify a recurring self-critical thought. For example, I always mess up. Rewrite it as a compassionate statement. I make mistakes, but it's okay because I learn from them. Repeat it aloud or write it down. Over time, this rewires the brain to anticipate kindness instead of criticism. Journaling your thoughts. At the end of the day, write down 3 instances where you practice self-compassion, even in small ways. It could be, I took a deep breath after that difficult call today. I didn't berate myself when I forgot to do X. I told myself it was okay when I felt flustered. Reflect on how it felt, how your body responded, and any impact on your behavior or interactions. This reinforces positive neural pathways and strengthens the habit. And finally, affectionate breathing. Place your hands on your chest, inhale slowly and silently say, "May I care for myself." Exhale slowly and silently say, "May I be gentle with myself." Repeat for several minutes, or just repeat a couple of times. This activates the parasympathetic nervous system and signals safety and care to your body. I know this all may sound so woo-woo, but I promise it works in both your brain and your body. So let's make this real. Imagine a parent managing young children and supporting an elderly parent. They're stuck in the middle. They feel constantly pulled in every direction and often think, "I'm failing everyone." A self-compassion break, such as pausing for a few breaths and silently saying, "I'm doing the best I can right now, and that is enough." That helps to provide physiological and emotional relief, allowing clearer decision-making and more presence with both the children and the parents. Consider a professional facing burnout. Constantly criticizing themselves for not doing enough, it can lead to a stress, insomnia, and decreased performance. Introducing self-compassion, like acknowledging effort, taking micro breaks, recognizing their limits, can reduce stress, increase focus, and restore their ability to perform more effectively. And maybe then they take another step in realizing that they need to give themselves more time and take a day or even a few hours away from work, maybe in nature or doing things they love. Even social interactions benefit. If you feel awkward in conversation or concerned how others will treat you, instead of harsh self-judgment for your anxiety or shyness, say, "It's okay to feel nervous. Everyone stumbles sometimes. I'm learning and growing just like everyone else." This subtle shift changes your body language, tone, and experience, which others pick up on, often improving your interactions. And even sharing with someone, "I don't really know anyone here. How about you?" might help someone else share that they're feeling the same way. So let's incorporate this throughout our day because self-compassion is most powerful when it's woven into ordinary routines. So, for example, begin the day by silently stating, "I will be kind to myself today." Take brief moments throughout the day to notice tension or self-critical thoughts and offer yourself some reassurance, the hand to heart, or some kind words you would say to a friend. And at the end of the day, reflect on those instances of self-compassion, observing how it shaped your actions or mindset. Observe where you didn't offer self-compassion, not in a critical way, but in a loving way to learn. Over time, these small actions compound, rewiring the brain and creating a lasting capacity for resilience and calm. Now, if you want to take this one step further, here's some actions that take a little bit more time, but really could just be no more than 15 or 30 minutes. Use visualization. Close your eyes and picture a recent moment of struggle. Imagine approaching it with kindness and understanding. See your body relax. Notice your thoughts soften, and envision yourself responding with patience and care. Hold this visualization for a bit. Maybe write a letter to yourself as if you were a close friend offering care. Include understanding, encouragement, and reassurance. Read it aloud and feel the impact of the words. And whenever you feel deep in the struggle, take out the letter and read it again. Or maybe consider taking some of the lines from it and putting them on sticky notes on your bathroom mirror so you remember to start your day with self-compassion. And maybe while walking or stretching, silently repeat affirmations such as, "I'm worthy of care. I deserve kindness." Pairing movement with compassionate thought deepens the effect on mind and body. Moving meditation and moving affirmations are especially helpful because once they're paired, they're easily brought forth again. So the next time you're walking or stretching, you begin to remember those words and they come to you more quickly and naturally. So let's put this into practice. Think of a self-critical thought from today and some other way you were not compassionate with yourself. How might responding to it with kindness have changed your day, your mood, or your interactions? What could you have done or said differently in that moment, and how might that have felt? Take a moment to visualize responding with understanding, patience, and care. Notice what shifts in your body or mind. Maybe your shoulders relax, maybe your breathing slows, maybe you just feel a greater sense of love for yourself. Practicing self-compassion consistently can change your whole life, both mentally and physically. You can reduce stress, anxiety, and depression, improve emotional regulation and problem solving. You can enhance your resilience to setbacks and think of them differently, more as setups versus setbacks. You can help to strengthen relationships by reducing your own projection of self-criticism. You'll improve your physical health through that reduced cortisol or stress hormone and improved vagal tone, that nerve that affects your brain right down to your gut. And you become more productive in ways that are important to you by increasing motivation and creativity. Through neuroplasticity, or the brain's ability to reorganize and recover itself through new neural connections, this repeated practice strengthens pathways in the brain that then anticipate care, calm, and resilience, literally making self-compassion your default mode over time. And I know that may feel far away right now, but as we're all about here, it's little by little. Take one small step toward self-compassion today. You've already done it by listening. But please just pause, breathe, and offer yourself kindness. Thank you for being here today. Thank yourself for this act of self-care just by listening. This can be your self-kindness today. And please share this episode with someone who could benefit from gentle encouragement. Send this to them to remind them that they too are worthy of kindness, from you as well as from themselves. Make sure to hit that follow button so we can continue exploring self-care, mindfulness, and practical ways to live a more peaceful life. Notice your thoughts today, speak kindly to yourself, and act in ways that honor your worth and humanity. Remember, self-compassion is a skill. You can learn it, practice it, and let it transform your life, one small kind action at a time, to bring you more self-compassion, more self-care, more self-love, little by little, and piece by piece. This podcast is based on my own life experiences. I'm not a therapist, a psychologist, psychiatrist, or any other licensed medical professional. Please share this podcast with anyone you think needs to hear this so that we all move forward, little by little and piece by piece. And thank you, Purple Planet, for sharing your music.